Hey guys, Spiritual Girl here. Just thought I would come on. I saw a video just now about someone asking about intuition and wondering if their intuition is going to get louder one day. So I commented on her video, and you have to excuse me, I'm so hot. I'm about to go into the football game. Go Cards. So what I tell my clients all the time is that about listening to intuition. So your ego is loud. Like, my ego is loud and most likely wrong. Like, this child is, then that's what I think my ego is, the child part of me. I love my ego. I think, we get it wrong sometimes and we're like, my ego just gets in the way. No, the ego is there for a reason. Everything is by God's design. So I love my ego. My ego only wants the best for me. I know that now. But she's often loud and wrong. I do listen to my ego though, because my ego is, like danger, danger, danger. So I do listen to my ego, and you can't ignore your ego. I think that's what a lot of people get wrong. They want to ignore the ego, or they just want to rely solely on the ego. So that's where we get it wrong. One, you can't ignore the ego, because the ego is like a child. The ego is going to keep screaming louder and louder and louder until you pay attention to it. So, and you can't ignore it, because again, the ego is there to protect us. So we wouldn't want to, it's like like a child, but also like a mother. It's there to protect us. We have built this, and so they have this built in. What if it could go wrong? Blah 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 blah. So what I'm getting at is you can't ignore the ego. So what I do is that I acknowledge her. So if I'm somewhere and ego is just being very loud and wrong, I say, you're right, that could happen, in that way for us. But what if it doesn't? What if it actually works out? It's okay. Yeah, we can acknowledge that. Why do we feel that way? We feel this way because this happened last time and it put us in a similar situation. And then I can go ahead and acknowledge that, yep, it did put us in this situation. How is that different? How is that the same? So I kind of rationalize it. Whatever the outcome is, I do not ignore it. I just face it head on. So our intuition. So people say, how do I tell the difference between my ego and intuition? Simple. Your ego is going to be, like I said, loud. Even if you don't know if it's wrong, it's going to be loud. It's going to be screaming at you. It's going to put you in a loop, kind of. It's going to keep talking. It's going to keep saying the same thing. And it's going to get louder and louder. And then there's going to be explanations. So if you find yourself, I don't know if I should take that job because blah, 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 blah. And then the commute, and then this, and then that, and then this. And so there's explanations with your ego. Your intuition, though. Your intuition, and this is where you have to do some inner work, because you're going to have to be able to listen to it. Your intuition is going to be quiet. It's going to be almost so silent. It's going to be like a fleeting thought, and it's going to be like, take the job. That's it. That's the intuition. It's not going to come with explanations, and it's not going to keep saying, take the job, take the job, take the job. It's just going to be, take the job, or don't take the job. That's it. There is not going to be an explanation. There is not going to be multiple times saying it over and over and over. Your intuition and I tell people, has the authority of truth. Your ego has the authority of worry. There's going to be so many emotions behind what your ego is screaming in your head. Your intuition is just going to sound like truth. And guess what? You're going to miss it. You're going to miss it if you don't know what you're listening for. You're going to miss it if you aren't paying attention. You're going to miss it if your head is too cluttered with a whole bunch of junk. So you have to work on figuring out what is ego and what is intuition. And it's going to take some time to figure that out. It's going to take a lot of work getting through that. But again, your intuition is going to be quiet. It's going to be quiet, and it's only going to say it once. The thing about that is that your ego can't follow up on that. So say your ego is telling you all the reasons why you should take the job, but your intuition is like, don't take that job. So you hear don't take that job, and then your ego can very well come in and say, well, if we don't take the job, this will happen. Someone else again, then we'll have to be here for a long time, blah, 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 blah. So your ego can very well come in after your intuition and start giving you information. Your job is to figure out what your intuition is saying. I don't know about your intuition. My intuition never lies. My intuition ain't never been wrong. I ignore my intuition a lot. I ignore it. Because why? I'm human and I want the human experience. And so I say, it's for the plot. I just want to see how it's going to work out. That's on me. But we're not talking about that right now. What we're talking about is you being able to discern what is ego and intuition. So that's my advice for everybody. I was going to say for the collective, but that's just an overall advice. Your ego is loud, very loud, repeats, gives explanation. Your intuition is going to be that quiet voice that just says it one time, standing 10 toes down. However you interpret it, whatever you do with that information is on you. It's not the intuition's job to figure it out for you. It's just to tell you.
I've been with you.
I'm not again. Okay.